It was during the time of the last Czar of Russia. A decree was put out that in a particular city in Russia, the Russians, the local government, was allowed and given permission to do a public book burning, which means the Sfarim, the Sifrei Torah, would all be burnt in the town square. The Jews of that city were shaking when they heard the news, because usually what happened after a public book burning was usually a pogrom, and many people would get killed. The town got together, a Yom Tefillah, davening, crying, and they felt they were going to send the Rosh HaKol, Reb Naftali, to St. Petersburg to advocate on behalf of the Kehillah. There was one challenge. Reb Naftali did not speak Russian, so the town hired a translator, a Jew, but a Reformed Jew. Someone that was not very fond of the religious Kehillah he was going to be translating for. They traveled to St. Petersburg, they get to the palace, and the day they were given an audience with one of the noblemen was on Shabbos. Reb Naftali is walking together with the translator into the palace, and he notices that the translator is carrying something in his pocket, and he takes it out, and it's a cigarette, and he lights it up, and it's Shabbos. And it bothered Reb Naftali so much. And he made a comment to him. It's Shabbos. The Reformed Jew was so upset. Who does this guy think he is? I'm helping them out. I'm the translator, and he's preaching to me about Shabbos. Forget about it. He turned around and he walked away. You're on your own. Reb Naftali finds himself in the palace of the Czar, all by himself. What's he going to do? He goes to a corner and he begins to cry. A lady walks by and she sees this pious-looking person crying against the wall. She approaches him and she realizes right away there's a language barrier. She calls over a friend of hers that spoke German. That's the closest thing to Yiddish. And he began to translate. She asks her friend, could you go with this fine person into the nobleman and help him be his translator? They go to the nobleman. Reb Naftali begins to cry. He says how hard it will be for his town if there's going to be a book burning. People will get killed. And he gives out a cry in Yiddish. And he says if the Czar is going to go through with the book burning and burn the Sifrei Torah, throw me into the fire in its place. Let me burn instead of the Sefer Torah. And the nobleman was so moved that he tells the translator, tell him, if he cares so much about the Sifrei Torah and it means so much to him, I'm going to cancel it. They walk out and he meets the original translator, the Reformed Jew, who approaches him with a smirk and asks him, so how did it go? Reb Naftali responds, we don't need you. We don't need translators. All we need is a little Mesiras Nefesh, and Hashem will pull through for us. We're in a world where we have lots of tests, we have lots of hardships, and we need a lot of Rachmei Shemayim. The key to that success comes from Mesiras Nefesh, comes when we have something that we want to do, something we want to look at, and we're Vayimaen, we hold back, we give a little sacrifice. That ultimately brings the greatest success.